Thank you very much for having Metacon here today. I will try in the following few minutes to guide you through an introduction to Metacon, to tell you a little bit about how we see the market for hydrogen, and in particular green hydrogen, which is our focus market. I also want to describe our product offering and solutions, how we intend to go to market over the next couple of years with really transforming our company into a commercial company in green hydrogen. Also try to describe a little bit about where we are going, how we see the future plan. So Metacon is a technology company. It's been around for quite a few years, waiting for hydrogen to happen, basically. And I think all of you are seeing more and more of hydrogen right now. In fact, we see an explosion in green hydrogen coming, and I'll show a little bit more about that. We have a mix of products and solutions. We have an in-house technology with patented solutions for reforming of various other types of gases to hydrogen. But we also added sort of the mainstream technology for producing green hydrogen today, electrolyzers, in parallel to this. So we now have a complete offer, you could say, to go out and meet these growing market needs in hydrogen. We also want to partner in this space because we see much more growing and many more opportunities than actually what the world can provide solutions for. So we are a highly partnering company, you could say. So why are we so excited about green hydrogen? What's really triggering us every day? Well, we feel that we have a very important and fun and probably extremely profitable role to play in supporting these needs. We have winning solutions in transportation. Hydrogen hasn't exploded yet in Sweden, but in many other places of the world in transportation, you're starting to see that we are discovering hydrogen as a really strong option. We can actually, with hydrogen, behave in exactly the same way as we always behaved in transportation. We drive long ranges, we go to the gas station and refuel in 3 minutes. We have no problem in the winter with cold. So companies and people could actually just continue as we always did, refueling with a 100% pure fuel. And that's what excites us a lot. We are turning gray industries green. And you see this, of course, in the northern part of Sweden with the steel industry. But there are many other examples. I mean, in fertilizers, for example, we have deep sea shipping, we heard about before. Very exciting areas for us. And on top of this, all the trends that escalated over the last couple of weeks, of course, with energy independence and our wish to be more self-sustainable when it comes to energy. Our products and solutions also support this in a very good way. And therefore we are committed to building a company that can get all these products and solutions to market. And we feel that there is both a huge business opportunity, but we also have a very important role for our societies and for the world to bring this to market. And what are we going to sell, at least in the initial phases? Well, we have a mix of products and solutions. At the top, you see our product range for combined heat and power. You could see it as a heat pan for real estate or for buildings where you, instead of using the electricity grid, you use different types of gas. And out comes heat, electricity for your building, or we're working also adding cooling to this, because if you can produce heat, you can also produce cooling. So, and then based on the same technology, we have a scaled up version actually producing large amount of hydrogen from various types of sources. We have electrolyzers through partners, and electrolyzers you all heard about because it's a mainstream technology for producing green hydrogen today. Of course, you need green electricity to be able to do that. And we very recently also took a step more concretely, so to say, into the hydrogen refueling station market. Because hydrogen refueling stations are strongly linked to developing the transportation sector for hydrogen. And we can feed hydrogen refueling stations with green hydrogen from either electrolysis or from reforming, for example, reforming of biogas. So, and we are in a, you could say, a pre-commercial phase. We obviously sold some, we placed systems here and there, we have tested a lot of our technologies, but we are standing in front of a much more interesting phase for the company right now. And we have a real position already in several countries with people representing us, as you see to the left here. And we have a lot of focus on Germany right now, because Germany is a super interesting market, both when it comes to the energy transition, of course, and they have a very, very big biogas sector that we can address. So how do we see the market? Well, there are, as we see it, 5 growth drivers here. One is the extreme situation, you could say, when it comes to the political dimension right now. I don't need to describe to you what's happening. You see it every day, announcements about energy independence. We also have a very, very good tool in green hydrogen, not because it's new, but because hydrogen has been used and are used since long massively in the industry. And that means that if we can make that hydrogen green, you suddenly transform an industry just by making hydrogen green, as you see in steel, for example. There has been a lot of binding targets already in place, all these national targets for when we should be carbon neutral, etc. You have seen this in many, that's a sort of a framework for us. We have growing investments in infrastructure. Even in Sweden, you see pipeline projects right now, and you see hydrogen refueling station plans spreading. And then, of course, massive sort of efforts to bring down the cost for green hydrogen. And that is, all of this is happening at the same time as a basis for us, and we feel we are perfectly positioned to participate and support this development. Our focus is on Europe right now. Longer term, we can go global, but Europe is actually taking the lead for many reasons in this transition, which is very, very good for us. And we started a daughter company in Germany because Germany is such an interesting market for us. So we will have a special focus on Germany over the next few years and hopefully beyond. The market, well, you have seen this, we also heard it mentioned before, some of the big things happening in hydrogen and in green transition. We know that the hybrid project got a lot of attention. They will need a lot of green hydrogen. At the same time, H2 Green Steel, similar type of project, but starting from scratch. They also need a lot of green hydrogen. Interestingly here, you see the numbers here. This is about 2.5 gigawatts of electrolyzer capacity. The total global production capacity for green hydrogen through electrolyzers today is probably around 5 gigawatts or something. I saw Nel announced very recently that they are scaling up their production capacity to 0.5 gigawatt with a future potential to go to 2 gigawatts. So already these two projects are consuming a large part of the world supply capacity for green hydrogen. And then you see these types of announcements, big consortia forming all over the world, which is really massively bigger than what we hear up in the north. So there is really no way of today seeing how can the green hydrogen world sort of supply at the same pace as these efforts are being started. Well, everybody is coming together in a very special way. Politicians, companies, public organizations, investors to support this. It's going to be extremely interesting to see what happens in this area. Moving over to our offer, what are we going to offer to this market? Well, first of all, we are addressing certain needs in the energy sector with more specialized products. So this product is actually not a production unit for green hydrogen. This is actually a heat pan, you could say, an electricity unit for a building or a telecom station, for example. And we are utilizing our internal technology here to take gas from different sources. It could be natural gas or LPG. Obviously, we are pushing biogas, because if we are using biogas, we get a more green solution. And out comes electricity and heat. The same core technology we are scaling up to be able to produce hydrogen from different sources than electricity. And this is really, really interesting, because as you know today, there is a lot of talk about access to our green electricity. And there's going to be a little bit of a battle over the green electricity. We provide a different route, an alternative route to green hydrogen, and that is through biogas. And that's where we see a lot of our focus moving forward. Electrolyzers, we have built a business area in electrolyzers, but that's not an in-house technology area. We provide sales engineering, we provide expertise, solutions knowledge. We find the customers, we take the deals where we can, where they are reasonably sized. And then we work with partners. And like I mentioned before, we have added HRS, or hydrogen refueling stations. And this fits very nicely with our overall portfolio. This is also together with external suppliers and partners. So, and here's an example of that. We have a strong partnering group together with GISAB, now owned by Järnbro, one of Sweden's biggest service companies and engineering companies. GISAB built the first hybrid electrolyzer in Luleå and are providing maintenance for that. So they are really on top of this. They are a super good partner for this. Wherever we can, we work with GISAB in our quotations and projects moving forward. Peric, the world's biggest supplier of electrolyzer, been around for many years, several installations in Europe, pioneering installations in Europe since a long time ago, and ABB for all the electronics. Continuing on the offering, you can see that we have sort of 4 basic areas, product areas, and we feel we have identified very clear target customers, target markets for this. For example, for the CHP unit, we see small companies in Germany, car dealers, pharmacies, these types of companies who want to be independent from the grid. They hate rising electricity prices, and they hate a fluctuating electricity grid. So they want to have a more stable supply to their facilities. Similar sort of case, of course, for telecom, where we hope to be able to tailor-make this solution to fit in telecom stations for gas sort of a drive instead of electricity dependence. The hydrogen reformers, where we call what we call the HHG series, is heavily focusing right now on the biogas market, and I'll describe a little bit more about that. But also we have methane or biogas produced from all the world's wastewater plants. And here we have hundreds of thousands of wastewater plants where methane is a greenhouse gas about 100 times, you see different numbers, but up to 100 times more warming of the atmosphere than carbon dioxide. So there's every molecule of methane or biogas that we take care of has a 100-fold impact on the climate. So this is actually a climate cooling activity to take care of methane and convert it to hydrogen. And of course, the marine area is also very interesting. We have projects in the marine area, and we heard about it before. Electrolyzers very much focus on the transportation sector for supporting all the refueling stations, but also, of course, the industrial projects. I also talked about the HRS sector a little bit, but here is very interesting that also in Sweden we see now a lot of projects. We are moving from like a handful of refueling possibilities for us today to, over the next years, probably up to 50. And then you have a completely different situation. Then you could dare to buy a hydrogen car because you know you can get around. It's like when battery electric cars started, you didn't really know if you could buy one because how am I getting around? That is changing. Here is the case for biogas. And we can look directly on the chart to the bottom left here. We see that for a German biogas plant, today you are making a profit by producing electricity of about 350,000 euros. If you produce fuel for buses, it's less. If you instead start producing hydrogen, and you have two different cases there. One, if you burden the biogas with an alternative cost, but you still make more money from producing green hydrogen. And if you take the free biogas, the one you're flaming away, a lot of these plants are just flaming away their biogas, then there is a very, very interesting business case for these biogas owners to move into the green hydrogen space. And this is what we want to address now moving forward. So coming a little bit over to our plan moving forward, how we intend to grow. We believe there are three core areas for us and where we are investing and where we want to really build the company strongly to meet these needs. One is to finish our product development, also to absorb new innovative projects that come our way because we can provide solutions. One is, for example, a project we announced recently where we can take ethanol, convert it to green hydrogen, and provide high power battery electric charging off-grid. These types of really mind-blowing activities is what's driving us. But we have focused now on our core products. We want to invest in manufacturing, and we are really oriented towards a breakthrough effort now in Germany, but after that, to step by step increase sales in other places. We have different flows where some money going to come from. Basically, we have different sources. Main focus is on the system sales, but we also have a big service business, and we have a leasing possibility for this. We won't do so much licensing because we are careful with our in-house core technology right now, but we could do that. So in summary, we have a strong momentum. We see the market growing, really exploding right now, and probably will do moving forward. We have a political situation really moving our way, pushing things in our direction. We have this wish to become decentralized. We don't want to have a big central production that is sensitive to whatever, war or terrorism or things like that. And we want to have leverage of our strong pipeline of innovations and new opportunities. This is something we're going to push. And then I hope to get the last bullet here. It's everything we are doing is based on our unique portfolio of technologies, both in-house and very, very strong partnerships. So we are very, very excited about taking the next step now with the company, a company that has been around for several years, waiting for this to happen, and we feel we are building the structure now to really go out and make big business on this. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Christer. Of course, I have a few questions for you. On March 4th, you presented the news of PERC on the refueling stations in Europe. How important is this for your business case and your development in terms of the fueling stations?
Well, refueling stations as such, of course, is important. That is key to the transportation sector developing green hydrogen. So, and then there are many actors in this space, and we could work with different partners. But we have been working with PERC in the electrolyzer area. It's working very well. They think like us. They are very proven. So we see them as an important partner for us.
Excellent. So in terms of the future, you've shown very well here your plans. But if you look 5 years ahead, where are you then?
5 years ahead, we are a much bigger company in mature commercial phase, selling in still mainly in Europe, but also in other parts of the world.
Primarily other parts of the world, as in?
In North America, as in South America.
Well, excellent.
Probably also in some Asian countries, yes.
Well, it will be very interesting to follow your further progress. Thank you very much, Christer Wikner.
Thank you very much. Thank you.